Hello and welcome to my math authentic assessment on the analysis of the stock market and the trades that I've done on the stock market. This is my personal journey and my personal ideas and trades that have either made me gain or lost, and watch all of the videos to figure out if I did gain or lose. Now, how did we analyze our stocks? Well, and of course, trade and buy and sell. You would look at the graphs of the stock market. So this is the stock market right here of Euro to USD. This is the time I bought it. So the 17th of March 20 to 22, 10 a.m. So you can see that it was going up, which is good. So all the black dots are buys, and all the white dots mean sells. So because it's being bought and sold, it's slowly going up, but you can see here and there that it dips. Like right here it dips, here again it dips. So I thought that was odd. So I was like, okay, since we have to check the 15-minute timer anyways, I will check the 15-minute chart of the same stock. There is 1 hour, as you can see right there. 4-hour blocks, which means every block is a 1 hour. Every block is 4 hours. There's also day, week, months, and in the opposite direction, minute 30, minute 15, minute 5, minute 1. For this assignment, we only need an hour and minute 15. That is signified by the H1 and M15. So when we go down here, we can see the screenshot of the M15, and as you can see, it's not consistent. It goes down, then spikes back up, and then crashes back down for a while, then spikes back up, and then this is where I sold.
Okay, so for the M15, is it the first 15 minutes or the last 15 minutes?
It is all 15 minutes between the hour, so it's just more broken up. So for example, here, it just goes from 7 to 23. There's no like 15-minute block, so it just goes 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
11. This, it goes 15, 30, 45, 60, 15, 30, 45, 60. So it gives you more
Got
information.
it. Okay. Yeah, got it. Okay.
So I was like, since it's going down, as you can see right here, and it's not, it is technically consistently going up, but it's crashing a lot. So any minor tweak could make the whole thing crash. So I was like, okay, since it's already going down, as it was here, and it was still going down after I took the screenshot, I decided to sell. And selling doesn't mean you sell product. I can't sell nothing because this is a new account. Selling means that you are buying the secondary currency. So since the name is called Euro to USD, that means you are buying Euro, and the sell means you're buying USD and of course converting it. So if you're buying Euro, you're then swapping it for USD when you sell, or if you buy USD, you sell to buy Euro. So for this project, we analyze the stock market by taking the information we get from MetaTrader 5, which is the stock market analysis that lets us have free demo accounts without using real money, so we don't have any risks for ourselves. And if you click on this link right here, it brings you to the USD page. So what is all this? When you open the page, you see a lot of information. It can flood your brain. It might be overwhelming, but it's simple. For this chart, you don't need a lot. All you need to do is look at the open prices. So here are the open prices, and here are the 15-minute bars, and this is just labeled 1 to 10. Now you don't get this line. This line is created. It's called the trend line. It helps us see the trend of the stock market. Hence the name trend line. And for this equation, I use a polynomial 6, and the polynomial helps it curve, and the degree of 6 helps it turn and make it more accurate. For example, if I make this polynomial degree 4, it makes it less accurate because there's less bends, but if I make this back to 6, it's more accurate. And the rule of thumb is to have this number always be above 0.75 to make it considerably accurate, and anything of course above is better, but the higher you go, of course, the more numbers you have to work with. And sometimes it's not worth it, or like it actually is worse, because in certain cases the degree can actually get worse. So this can maybe go to 0.76, making it less accurate. And the trend line looks mostly accurate enough for this trend line, as you can see. So which is interesting, for the 15-minute bars, you can see it go up, settle down and then crash and then go back up again. So it looks like it's gonna go up. But if you look at the hour
Okay,
bars,
so what about that? Sorry,
no,
continue.
continue. What's your question?
Yeah. So, for that one point that's like near the very top, it looks like it's different compared to the other points. Like it's like really far off the trend line. So, would you like remove that as an outlier, or would you keep it?
You don't really remove it from the outlier per se, but it doesn't follow the trend line. It doesn't follow the origin. So it is technically an outlier, like you said, but because of how the trend line worked and how it's following well the trend of the stock, it will basically like ignore it and tries to just generalize it. If I, for example, it will become more accurate if I increase the polynomial again, like I did last time. So if I make this a 10, it will again put a bump
Yeah,
up
it will go
here.
towards it. Yeah.
But then the issue is that then this part becomes a lot less more accurate, and this part becomes less accurate. So I believe that polynomial 6 is better for the situation that I need. So after you get the polynomial and all that, you're left with this equation. And this equation is the equation for the 15 minutes bar graphs. You get another equation for this, doing the same thing for the 1 hour bar graph. And as you can see, these graphs have different polynomials because they meet different requirements. And the interesting part about this graph is that you can see it increase heavily, like I said in the 15 bar graph on the chart up here. You see it increase heavily, then crash, then try to level out, then heavily increase, then crash. And this is a beautiful chart. The reason why is because it's not a polynomial 10, it's still a polynomial 8, meaning I don't have, each polynomial is its own variable and its own mass number. So meaning if I have polynomial 10, I'll have 10 numbers. So since it's polynomial 8 and it equals 1, meaning this is perfectly accurate and perfectly represents the stock market. So you can see it, and you see at the very last number, it goes immediately down, and that's what it predicts. So with my information of both this and that, you can get the main equation right here, and you can differentiate it, meaning, and when you differentiate equations, you basically, you take away the power and you timed it to the beginning. So for example, if you have x squared.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, we took
would
it in
equal to
H1
x.
math.
Oh, okay, that's good. So here's first differentiation and the second differentiation. First derivative, second derivative. And here's the first derivative and second derivative for both equations. It's a lot of math, and I don't think I need to go into it. And you get these numbers when you fully answer all the equations. So in H1, you can see both of it positive, and the only negative sign it actually shows is in M15 when it's sloping downwards. But because of all the information from shown earlier and all the stuff crashing, I felt like it was going to keep going, and with more, and when I watched it more, it did proceed to continue downwards. So this sell actually became a result of my gaining. Now you might be wondering, how did I get these numbers? Well, for H1 and M15, you have different variables you use. And what are the variables? Well, each equation has an x here. And the variable you use depends on how many information you have and how many bars you have. So if I move this chart really quickly. As you can see, there's only 9 bars right here for this information because it was a short. There was only a short information thing I needed right here. I believe the trend line started about right here for the 15-minute graph. I mean the hour graph. So I believe it started like right around here. So I only took what I needed. And I only had to use the X9, but for the 15-minute graph, since like again 15 minutes is longer, I went down, took this number, which is the last number, and I put that into X for all the equations, which gave me the numbers. And this is one out of the many trades I did. I did 20 trades in total, 16 positive and 4 negative. So that's, and we only did 3 trades that had a lot of math. Everything else is eyeballed. So we only have 2 more to go through. So of course, for this one, luckily I did gain. And then while I was doing this, I was also trying to manage my second trade, USD SEK. So for this one's even more reliable because after a big big up, it went all the way down to here. And then, as you can see, it started to climb up. So this looks like a very good opportunity that I could hop into. Let me just delete this tab real quick, sorry. This looks like a very good opportunity I could get into. And I did. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy here. And I'm gonna see if it's gonna go up or go down. So again, here is the Google Sheets link. Already have it reopened. Here's the 1 hour bars. Again, these are the open prices, as you can see, and then this is the hour of information that I needed. And I wanted to include the information about how it was increasing for so long, then decreased, then started increasing again. And as you can see from the hour bar graph, it represents that. And again, and to mention again the polynomials, even though it's a polynomial of 4, as you can see, of x to the power of 4 right here, it equals 0.97, and it's very accurate, and it's really good. And I felt like I didn't have to add more. And it's not like the hour and 15 are the same. The 15 also needs a different polynomial. This is to the 6, as you can see here, and it's not accurate. But it more representatively depicts how it's the decline of profit and then increase at the very end. So again, like I mentioned before, I got the function from the chart here. And then I differentiated the equation for both the hour and the 15. Then I put in the variable, and I got these answers: sloping down, concave down, sloping upwards, concave up. And the interesting thing is, the reason why H1 is sometimes sloping down and then not M15 is because H1 is a lot longer than M15. So for H1 to catch up to M15, it takes a lot longer. And since the curve upwards, I just started as I was trading, and it continued to go upwards, that then H1 shows negative, even though it is sloping and concaving upwards, shown here. And this was a successful buy, not a sell. I only do 4 sells in total. Finally, this is the last trade we have, and this is the most interesting, I believe, because this one was also a buy. But because I bought because it went down, and then would go back up a tiny bit, and then wouldn't go, and then go back up a tiny bit, and go down. So I thought it has leveled out enough. As you can see, it's been doing it for a while. And I bought here at the low point, just by coincidence. And then you can see it went up a lot. I sold. And because I'm also trading other trades at the same time, sometimes I will screenshot both the trade and the profit just by coincidence. Here's the M15 if you are curious. See, I bought there. And because when you buy, you also buy at a higher price. So instead of buying it for just 0, you buy it for -2 profit. And then it goes up to whatever profit of take profit and stop loss. And take profit as stop loss, meaning the take profit, it will auto sell, meaning that, if it reaches $100, it will automatically sell for you. Or if you lose $100, again, stop loss means it will stop you from losing money and it will automatically sell. And that becomes very important later when I make a crucial mistake. So the USD to SEK, wrong chart. USD to DDK, which is Danish, Korean, sterling, or something similar. Now, this graph had a problem. Its currency was so sporadic that when trying to map it out, not for the hour, for the 15, it didn't. As you can see, it doesn't look like. And even though I did the maximum amount of polynomials that Google Sheets allows, the trend line can never be always 100% perfect because there's so many outliers. It just tried to find a general idea. And as you can see, again, my idea of it concaving upwards by a lot is increasing. I don't need to explain that. It doesn't show here, but it should. But again, the polynomial issue of Google Sheets limitations. Then here is all the math. Again, I put in the variable. Positive sloping upwards, negative sloping downwards, which is interesting. Concave upwards, concave downwards. And this is because of also a lot of the sell and a lot of the buy and the application being confused. But again, I gained, which was very good, as you can see here. And you can see officially I gained later in the video. Now, for the rest of the video, this is just me trying to guess and see if I can predict the trade by looking at the graphs. And we'll quickly go through some. So here for the Japanese USD to Japanese yen, you can see it's starting to increase right here, starting to very increase, shown more probably in the 15-minute. As you can see, it increases and decreases, but if I bought right here, sold right there, it would have been very good. So I thought the same thing would happen, which it did, and I did gain money. Trade 5, looking at USD to SGD for USD to Singaporean dollar. I was like, oh, that's interesting. It just went all the way down, but leveled out. So it's gonna go back up because it leveled out. I was like, okay. And since it was already leveling up right here at this bump, I was like, oh, so it's already starting to go up back. So I bought here and I gained as well. Then we have USD to HDK. Again, I bought here. And since it already had a spike upwards when I bought it, I'm like, oh, it's going to increase. Unfortunately, it did decrease a tiny bit, but then it came back up. As you can see right there, the 15. It's shown better of how much it increases right there. So you can see the increase. Then it decreases. That's when I bought it, and then it increases all the way up. The results of that gain. I gained a lot, but there are a lot of major failures of trades. JDUSP is more pronouncedly shown that it's gaining, as you can see right here, as it's going up. Same thing here for both the 15 and the hour. Same
Now,
thing.
quick question.
Yes.
Whenever, like, have there been, like, times during these trades where your calculations would show that it would increase, but then it would decrease?
Yes, because the stock
Like-
market is based on true events. So, for example, unfortunately, due to current circumstances, the war between Russia and Ukraine. So the Russian ruble was doing really well, and then the Russian ruble actually has stopped accepting currencies, and it is completely closed. During that time frame as well, a lot of currencies, when I was doing some trades nearer that time, this is because I had to reduce some of them, a lot of the European currencies actually went a lot down because of the war that was occurring, and it was affecting all the economy, and that's what people were worried about when it affects the global economy. So yes, of course, the stock market is affected by real-life events. If even a big famous person makes a tweet about some currency, it will immediately drop or increase depending on the situation.
Yeah, all right.
So again,
Continue.
Thank you. So again, you could see it going up right here, and it had a little slump, but it was continuously going up from this point, and then I bought and I gained as well. Now here is the first loss I had. It's probably one of the bigger losses. So this was a sell for kind of the USD. Again, I did the same process of, oh look, it's about to go up. It's been going up usually. And then I didn't look at the minute 15. I took a screenshot after I bought, which was a very stupid mistake for me. And as I did that, because I did that, I did lose money on the sale. But it was a learning experience. It was a learning experience. It was a good learning experience to make sure that I look at all the information I can. Okay. So then we have trade 10, and most of the trades go good. I believe this is another loss. I believe this was a sell, so I thought, oh, it's concaving downwards because of the slope right here. Even though it was just increasing right here, you could see it slowly going downwards. So I thought, and especially on the minute 15, it was very pronouncedly showing that it was going downwards, and I did lose money on this trade. Then I have a good amount of win streaks here. I get another sell, a good sell. You can see it increases, and it decreases a lot here. So I sold here. Better picture here. Increases and then it starts decreasing, so I sell at this point, which just again means I'm buying the other currency. Here's another sell that I was doing, increasing, then decreasing, yada yada, similar. This one I unfortunately did lose, and the interesting part about this is that it was doing really well for about one day, and then all of a sudden it spiked up dramatically. It went up to, I believe, like $6 or $7 in profit. In profit, like if you bought it instead of sold, and I thought that was very interesting. Then you have the number 13 with increasing, so I thought I would buy, which I didn't. I gained. Number 14, again, I thought it was increasing in general, so I bought and I lost, unfortunately, which is the downside. Here was an interesting one because I bought stock because it was going up in general. I thought about here. It was going up. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I bought here and it sold for profit and then immediately crashed afterwards. You can see it better here. Number 16, I bought right here. And then as I was taking pictures and uploading it to the document, it sold because it magically spiked up to a crazy degree. You can see even the pronunciation of it in the 15 minutes. There is only like an hour gap between. Then you have another. No. We have another bid right here. I believe it was going up. And that was right. USD, the DD, you see the Danish Korean, and the problem you probably see a lot of the same currency. That's only because it's on different time frames. So these are completely unrelated. I only have similar currencies because with a free demo account with MetaTrader, it doesn't allow you to access all the currencies, and some of the currencies take very long times. Like my friend bought silver, and I believe it ticked once. So one tick doesn't mean one block. One tick, as you saw earlier, one tick means it moves up or down once, and I believe it moves up or down like 100 or 1,000 times before it like settles down to the next time. And it moved once in a matter of days. So he's like, no, I'm gonna close it and try a different currency. All the currency that were fast enough for this type of research project was all USD currencies. Some European currencies also were moderately fast, but a lot slower than the USD currencies. And a lot of the really foreign currencies were very slow or didn't even load on MetaTrader. So do be aware of these issues while I'm going through, and if you notice any similar currency, that's the reason why. But none of them were taken on the same day. There's no duplicates on the same day or even on the same hour. So to make sure that I cannot have the same like type of gains or losses in a row.
You told me before, right, that these trades took place over like a couple weeks, right?
Mm-hmm. There are some trades you don't see because I made some mistakes. Let's take profit and stop loss.
Yeah.
But this took over a week, so I started on the 17th. It's now the 24th. So that's about a week-ish. But again, I was researching about the stock market 2 weeks beforehand, and I had prior training for this MetaTrader 2 weeks again beforehand, or 3 weeks again beforehand, and I did other trades a long time ago. So I was really.
All these trades are in order, right? So that like the first one was the first trade you ever did, and
they're
like,
all in
you got
order
more
by
experience
day, but not by hour, because I put in the information of when it finished. Like, oh, this currency finished before this one. I'm not gonna have a blank empty space just in case it doesn't finish. So
Yeah.
some actually didn't finish, so I had to close them today, and it messed with my statistics of the clear end. But most of them did close, and I put whoever finished in first, but they're all in by the same day, grouped in by not by the same hour, unfortunately. You'll see one time I'll have like a 9, and an 11, and then a 10, only because that's when they finished selling and buying. But they all finished around the same time.
Got it, yeah.
And if they didn't, I would try to fit them in on the same day. Here's number 19. Here's DSGG. I gained. And I luckily gained on this one as well. Out of the 20 trades in total, I won 16 of them and lost 4 of them, meaning a percentage of 80% win rate. The money left in my account can be shown here. I have a $9,990 with a 0.31% balance. And the reason for this was because there's a trade that I lost negative 7.49 profit on dollars. And the reason was this is because I forgot to add the stop loss, and this was because I bought it and I closed my laptop, and this is why I showed you the importance of stop loss. It saved you a lot of money. As you can see, I do it again here because the stop loss and take profit is blank. But these were on the same day too, so which is unfortunate. But I lost a lot of money here, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. And another thing that happened was this trade right here was bought after, and for some weird reason it showed before, but like there was a glitch with the MetaTrader, and if you have certain applications open draining your bandwidth of Wi-Fi, MetaTrader will sometimes lag and get confused when you buy or sell or edit. So make sure you don't have any other applications open while running MetaTrader, which could cause misclick of buy, misclick of sell. The application itself gets confused. I didn't even know this trade existed until I just happened to check this morning. I'm like, oh, this happened, and it happened even before I made some of my other successful trades. So out of technically 21 trades, 5 were unsuccessful, but this was a misclick. And these last 2 trades, I did have to close early, only because of time restraints for the project. If this trade didn't occur and I didn't close applications on time, then I probably would have made at least a tiny bit of profit and came back from this negative. And my return over investment, of course, is shown here, both in the PDF file and the Excel sheet, which I will open right now. We'll just move this. So here is the return over the investment Excel sheet. So you can see the positions, the orders, and when it happened, the deals, etc. And then if you want more detail, there's also the PDF file. The PDF file shows you even a graph at the very bottom. It shows you a lot of interesting information like gross profit, expected profit, Sharp ratio, and because of the closing of certain orders and the mistakes I made earlier, some of the graph doesn't make sense. But as you can see, I was gaining a lot and made a few bad deals and then gained back again. So it's very interesting. This information is very good and useful to help new MetaTrader learners. Thank you for watching my documentation on my project, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. And thank you, Shemy, for asking questions and being helpful.
Yeah, no problem. This is actually like a really interesting topic because it's a real life application of the derivatives. And like in HL math, we only do the optimization, which is like maximizing area and volume. But like this is really cool. So yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. I loved having you. And for you, the viewer watching, thank you for watching my video. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope this was helpful.